welcome to Cherie's World Podcast. I am Cherie Johnson, and that is Mr. Courtney Blackman. We have Mr. Ray in the house, and he is representing Ray's Juke Box, where he plays clean music. You can let your kids listen to everything going on at Ray's Juke Box. Without further ado, let's meet Mr. Ray. How long have you been working on the station?
Not that long, actually. It started last summer around June, and the station was born. It was really born out of the pandemic, really. If it weren't for this pandemic, the jukebox probably wouldn't exist. But I've always had a passion for music, but I never really seriously did any DJing. Um, but everybody started doing the Zoom parties, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool. I could do this." So, I started setting up and having my own Zoom party. And I said, but it got to a point where I was like, "Okay, everybody is doing this. I gotta find my niche. I gotta do something different. I gotta think out the box." And I said, "You know what? I don't know nobody that just up and got their own radio station." So, I got a cousin that's kind of doing something similar. Got in his ear a little bit and went online, started researching it, and boom, I just started putting it together like pieces of a puzzle. It just started fitting together. And here we are.
And what is your business background?
My business background, by trade, I am an accountant. So I've spent, 20 plus years in the corporate world. I work for a small nonprofit right now, as a controller. But yeah, my background is in finance and accounting.
That makes sense. So you looked at the numbers. He was like, I ain't gonna just do no Zoom show. We're gonna make this make sense.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So yeah, I'm working on the return on investment for sure.
Is this so you play music as well? Is it licensed music or
I'm sorry.
is
Is
it
it what?
is it licensed music? Do the people get streams for it?
Yeah, so it's just like listening to the radio. It's not on demand, so it's not like you can go and select what you want to hear. It's just like turning on the radio, and I got a playlist going. I listen to every song all the way through before I play it on the air, because I want my station to be clean. I do got some songs in the rotation that if you just heard the regular version of it, it'd be like, eh. But, I take the time, I clean it up. Because, I mean, if it's a hot track, I want to play it and people want to hear it. But I just choose, not to hear, the foul language and certain expressions that I think might offend people, or at least, my friends and family, because that's a big part of my audience right now. Um,
So you're not playing like Cardi B's WAP.
no, I'm not playing that one.
Yeah, no, that's good to know because as a mother, I don't want my kid listening to it.
Right, exactly,
Cardi
exactly.
don't
But
want
I
her
do
kid listening
have
to it either.
right, but I do got Megan's body on there. I just got it cleaned up.
I actually like that song. Are you a father?
I am a father. I have two kids. My daughter is in her early 20s. I can't believe it. It don't even feel right to say that. And then my son, he's 8 years old.
Oh,
Yeah, in elementary school. So
so daddy's girl. So
yeah.
is daddy's girl working for the radio station?
No, my daughter, she's a nurse. She's in nursing, so that's what she wanted to do. Yeah.
Go ahead, baby girl. And how are you handling that during the pandemic?
Um, it can be a challenge. It can be a challenge. I try to be there for her as much as I can. And in fact, I have a song that I recorded years ago, back in the days when I had, dreams of being a rapper. But it was a song that I wrote for her.
Oh,
and it kind of puts you in the same frame of mind. If you remember, Will Smith did a song for his son called "Just the Two of Us." It's kind of that same vibe, and I'm just talking to her like, yo, I've always got your back, no matter what happens. Listen, and as a father, I'm gonna let you know this is gonna happen. You're gonna go through this, but I got you. I'm there. So, um, I just try to keep in communication with her. She's out of the house and everything. I keep in contact with her, and we talk about what's going on. If she ever needs something, I'm right there. I don't believe in loaning my daughter money. If she needed, I just give it to her. So,
good daddy.
yeah, but the main thing with her being in nursing, of course, I'm concerned about her safety and
Right?
being on the front lines and all like that. So I just try to make sure she's taking every precaution she can, but she's doing what she loves, so I have to support that.
Just getting back to jukebox. Now, you just said that when you were, and he whispered, a rapper. Be proud of it. You've had a love of music for a long time, right?
Yeah, yeah,
How long ago were you a rapper?
man, young cat. I mean, I started rapping, middle school, high school, in the ciphers at the bus stop, all that, with my cousin. He'd be making beats. We'd perform for the family reunions and the anniversary parties and all, that kind of thing.
Love.
Um, as I got older, it got to the point where I was like doing talent shows, stuff like that, and I made a few recordings. In fact, back in the day here in Detroit, there was a show on 96.3. It was called Open Mic Night, and it was a DJ named Lisa, not the singer Lisa, but another Lisa. And it's so funny because I just recently reconnected with her. So I'm hoping to do an interview with her and get her on the show. But anyway, my point in bringing that up is, I was on that open mic night, and I would go down there, um, every month or so, and would just be on the air rapping. And so, at one time it was like, yeah, I really thought I could do this. But obviously my path didn't go that way. But and it's been a long time now since I've written anything like that, but I do a lot of poetry and I do write R&B now as well.
But are you giving those underground or not as well-known artists the opportunity to get some spins on Ray's Jukebox?
Absolutely, absolutely, I am. This is a great place for emerging artists. In fact, a lot of the artists that you'll hear just listening to my station are artists that I came across either on Instagram or Facebook. Um, and it's artists that are not well known, nationally or anything like that, that aren't signed to a label or anything like that, but again, hot music. And so I'm definitely putting it out there. So I give you an example. Back earlier this month, I aired an interview with a singer named Nessa Dove. Amazing artist. She's got a voice that is it's amazing. And I found her on Instagram. So, I reached out to her. She agreed to an interview. She's got 3 songs in rotation on the station right now that are just amazing. So, yeah, local artists for sure. Unknown artists, they're trying to get out there, trying to get that exposure. I got them. It's not just the very commercially popular music, but this is definitely a home for those about to blow artists
So
as well.
shout out your Instagram account real quick so they know how to get in touch with you.
Definitely. So I can be found on Instagram at this DJ he cool. This DJ he cool. I'm on Facebook, same thing. This DJ he cool. And of course, the website raisejukebox.com.
Who's your favorite artist out of Detroit?
My favorite artist out of
I'm
Detroit.
talking about any. I'm talking about you can go way back or you can go current. Anything.
Wow. M was pretty legendary. I would say he's probably the most noteworthy, but I mean, I'm a fan of going back in the day, Adina Howard, Boss back in the day.
Rapper boss.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I
that
didn't know she was from
Deeper.
I didn't know she was from Detroit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, pretty sure. Um, if memory serves me correctly, I'm a fan of Kid Rock. So, those of course Big Sean. In fact, I got Wolves in rotation right now, cleaned up. But yeah,
Okay.
yeah, definitely.
All right. So
I love it. Okay, so tell us about this first Sunday of every month.
Yeah, so my live show is the first Sunday of every month. I call it New Month, New Music Sunday. And that's where I showcase anywhere from 20 to about 30 new songs. And when I say new, they were just released within the last month or two. So I'm always constantly out there looking, okay, what just dropped? What's just dropped? And I see stuff on my phone, I take a screenshot of it, and then later I go, pull it up, listen to it. And if it's hot, I put it on the list and feature it on the next show. So now of course the first Sunday in February is the Super Bowl. So I ain't trying to compete with the Super Bowl, so I'm gonna push it back a week for February. But any other time, it'll be the first Sunday every month. New month, new music Sunday.
hey, radio is so legendary. It's I mean, just growing up, that was just everything radio, and then it kind of like took a hiatus. You know, I think it got kind of corrupt and crooked, and then so it kind of like people didn't actually go to radio to actually get the music and everything because everything's like kind of on demand. But
Hmm.
it's something to being able just to turn on the radio and let the radio just do all the work. What made you actually decide just like, hey, I'm gonna get back, I'm gonna bring radio back? Because it's kind of like, with podcasts and just
Mhm.
people has their own way of being able to get their music now. So like what made you decide that this is gonna be the route for you?
Well, couple things. Number one, I love the way I feel when I see somebody reacting to a song that they love. You know what I mean? Especially like in the DJ arena, even though I haven't done a lot of gigs, but that feeling when I do a transition just right and everybody get live, or I throw a song on that people forgot about was the jam,
Yeah.
and they get up out, they see like, oh, I gotta dance to this. So with taking it to radio, and that's where the name jukebox comes from,
Mm,
because what is a jukebox is where you go and you make your selection of what you want to hear.
right.
Yeah.
So, in addition to featuring artists that may not be well known, I also am open to accepting requests. Now, on the regular radio, it can be hard to get through and get a request played. But if somebody dropped me a message on Facebook or Instagram, or tap the email link and say, hey, could you, play this artist, or could you play this? I immediately look it up, and if it's clean enough for me to spin it, I play it. Even if I don't personally like it, I still spin it, because just because I don't like it, that don't mean that there's not 100 people who do like it. You know what I mean? So that's where the name jukebox come from. It gives them a measure of control over what they hear.
Okay. Now with
I
you
love it.
being an accountant, you ain't gonna get caught up in this in the payola, are you?
No, 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 man. I'm legit, 100% legit, for sure.
Now, raised jukebox, is it something that we can go on there and find 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or does it have hours?
Well, the station has grown. There was dead air in between. My live shows were weekly when I first started,
Mhm.
and there was dead air in between. So since December 1st is when I went 24/7. So now, if you are up at 2 o'clock in the morning and you like, hey, oh, I want to get a workout in, boom, click on the jukebox. You got some music to work out to. You up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to work, to go in the radio station or something like that. Tap on the jukebox. If you driving home, your phone synced up to your system, you can listen to the jukebox driving home 24/7.
And
Dope.
that's raisejukebox.com.
RaisedJukebox.com. That's right.
That's right.
I like that.
Yeah.
I have to admit, last night, I'm one of those people who don't sleep as much as we should. And I had a little jam session myself at raisejukebox.com.
Okay. All right. I appreciate that. Thank you for listening. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Thank you. And that's why I asked you, like, you don't play Cardi B's Whopper. I was like, well, maybe it's just in the middle of the night. That's why he didn't.
Yeah, no, there is a selection process. Some things I won't play. If I think it's sending a message that's too far to the left or to the right, I won't play it, So, I do have that control in place, and the thing is managing expectations. So that's one of my catchphrase is we play everything but not anything. So everything meaning, any genre, there's country on there, there's jazz on there, there's R&B, there's hip hop, there's pop, Afro beats. I mean, all across many genres. But I ain't gonna just throw anything on there.
Yeah, you definitely have a radio voice too.
Oh, wow, thank you.
Yeah, yeah, you sound like you do this.
Oh, wow. Oh, I appreciate that. Well,
Yeah, yeah, man.
So what's next for Ray's Jukebox?
what's next is as I grow the station, well, one thing that I'm doing is I'm getting into doing some interviews, and I'm really starting to develop more segments now where it's not just the music itself. So I mentioned the interview I did with singer Nessa Dove. My February live show is going to feature an interview I recently did with Father MC. Um, Got another interview that's going to air after that with Mr. Teron Brooks, who many are familiar with by playing Eddie Kendricks in the Temptations movie. He's also a phenomenal singer. Got a really nice song out right now that's in rotation. So that's one thing that I'm getting into is the interviews. And another thing is I've partnered up with a couple who is doing a really nice video podcast on YouTube that's kind of analyzing music, and they're kind of like going back and forth and comparing, and it's a really interesting how they put their perspective on it. And so I'm kind of partnering with them to become like they're the movie, I'm the soundtrack. So that's going to be a segment, and eventually from there, I hope to just bring on more DJs and have different personalities involved besides just myself.
Oh, that is dope.
That is definitely awesome. And I'm excited and I'm looking forward to seeing it grow. Courtney, do you have anything else for Mr. Ray? Can you hear us, Court?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about
Do you
that.
have anything else for Mr. Ray?
No, well, you know what? I do want to ask. How's Father MC, man? I used to be a big fan of Father MC. How's he doing?
Oh man, he's doing good. I asked him, was everybody good, with the COVID and everything. He said his family, everybody's good. So I was glad to hear that. Um, Super excited, man. He's got a new album about to drop like any minute now. And, he sent me a couple of tracks. This this kid, man. This is one talented cat. Cool, laid back, coolest cat you ever want to meet, man. But we had a real interesting conversation. We had an interesting conversation.
Is that can we listen to that or find it anywhere?
Well, there's one song in rotation right now. In
No,
fact,
no, no. I'm talking about the interview.
oh, the interview is going to air on my February 14th show. So that's going to be at
Valentine's Day.
yeah, it absolutely is. So the show starts at 5 p.m. Eastern, and so that's when that interview will be aired.
Beautiful. Is there anything else you want your audience to know, Ray?
Um, just want my audience to know that hey, this is a great radio station. You can listen anytime you listen to music. You jump on the Race Jukebox right now. You got great songs, new music, great throwbacks, all clean. It's a great time. The party is where you are when you're listening to Race Jukebox.
Hey, we can send you some artists that like be sending us stuff. We can send them to you. You know, so
Absolutely, absolutely. I definitely.
all right, no doubt.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm truly honored. Thank you so much.
Likewise.
Hey, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It is the official Cherie Johnson. That way you never miss one of our Cherie's World podcasts.